Hello and welcome! Silrace here with a build showcase. Build on your screen right there, pause the video if you wish to copy the exact. Main components also listed in the description below. The Grey Death, the Shadowhawk hero variant. Note at the time of recording these games I have only finished the basic pilot skills with the Grey Death. And so if you have the Elite and Master pilot skills, you're obviously going to see a performance increase. Also note that no modules were in use. So if you have the modules to go with this particular build, you're obviously going to see a performance increase as well. The snowy landscape of Frozen City is fairly good for this particular build. Especially after the, changes to the Frozen City. Which made it facilitate more of a longer to medium range engagements instead of just, short range brawling as it was mostly for in the previous incarnation. Now I'm just watching this flank here, just in case there is a light mech which charges this way. Granted, this build is not all that good at covering a flank and dealing with light mechs by itself. This is a fire support build, like very much so. You mostly want to hang around where your team is, in a nice big, a death ball, or pick a teammate with a kind of similar weapon range and just, stand around with them, shoot wherever they are shooting or whatever target they are shooting. This is a medium mech after all. You can't really tank the entire enemy team on your own or anything of the sort, so don't even try. Okay, so I see the light mech. So now I'm poking around here and pulling back a little so I can have a free firing range here over, past the Kodiak. Now the Jagermech obviously just walks right into my shot, so there is that. And then there is the summoner running back in, so you saw me swing my crosshairs off the summoner there to try to not deal damage to a friendly mech. This is the kind of engagement this mech really wants, this build really wants, where things don't necessarily shoot back at you and you have essentially one enemy at a time to shoot at, where you can just pour fire into somebody, because this is very much a mech like that, or rather a build like that. The UAC5 allows you to pour fire quite a bit, and the large lasers let them do their own work. This is fairly cool running build. The maps don't really matter that much, especially once you get the double basics. Now, I am also running basic large lasers instead of running the extreme, as in extended range, large lasers, because, I do not yet have the double basics, so I have wanted to cut a little down on the heat, but you can definitely consider 2 ER large lasers instead of the large lasers. Lots of targets for me to just poke at, right? Lots of targets, just to shoot at them. And this is exactly, as mentioned, this is exactly what this build wants. You have a firing line with the teammates, but obviously those enemies are just wandering around, so I'm going to try to change positioning there. Don't want to keep poking from the same location all the time, because you end up getting things shooting back at you, and then they know your exact location. So they can wait for you to poke and then shoot you in the head or whatever. So I'm gonna try to provide a crossfire of sorts, and of course there's a storm crowd down there which I would like to shoot to pieces if possible, but the Nova here blocks my shot, well, at least for a very short moment. And then there are targets that way. Which is kind of nice that there are targets on both sides so I can actually shoot at them. But if they poke out at me, then of course I'm going to get shot at from multiple angles, so that might also be real bad. Like this. Pull back so the Marauder doesn't have a bead on me. That was at least the idea. And then help finish off the Stormcrow. Try to expose so that you only have one enemy shooting at you at a time. That's what I try to do here. Pour some fire into the Marauder, hide for a bit, because I was the only one really damaging the Marauder there, in all honesty. Now, I could push, but there is the Marauder and there is something else back there, so I don't want to push. It is still a medium mech, can't tank a crazy amount, but sharing armor with the team is also kind of important, no matter the mech you are playing. And at this point, if you look at the kill scores, we have such a massive kill lead that we should definitely just push and finish off the game. Essentially, take advantage of the massive number, well, of mechs we have comparing to only 3 enemies. So yeah, at this point it's just try to get as much damage in and so forth. And of course, if things don't look at my way, just pour in that fire with the UAC5, hold down the button, do whatever it takes to get as much damage in as possible. Light mechs, not really that well, not the best target for this particular build, in all honesty. Game is basically over, let's move on to the next one then.
Target acquired.
Moving from the Frozen City to the HPG Manifold and Conquest game mode. Not necessarily the best game mode for this particular mech, because you don't really want to try dueling things 1 versus 1. You want to set up a firing line or be part of a firing line and shoot at things that way. You don't really want to try to fight things 1 versus 1, and occasionally on Conquest you will have to get into those situations when you're, you know, wanting to do the stuff. And I really don't know where that direwolf was on the way to. Like, no idea. Alright. So, just wandering over to where all the capture points are. Obviously at this point all the light mechs have already kind of done their job and gotten the capture points, so not too much there to do. A little bit of jump jet usage, because having jump jets allows traversing the terrain better, which is just nice. One reason to add jump jets to everything which can carry them things, or mount them, I suppose. Now Kodiak would be a brilliant partner for this particular build, and that's why I'm essentially wandering around with it. Because if a Kodiak decides to engage something, it's very nice to engage it with, well, supporting fire as well. Lots of enemies down there because of the LRMs pouring in and whatnot. And note that as usual, I am not cherry picking the best games for these build showcases. I am picking the games which try to show the strengths and weaknesses of the build. The sort of average games I get. Now, there we have the support fire thing. There's lots of things we're firing at that stalker, and you know, lots of things around to pour fire into, and this is what this build really wants. Engagements like this is where that flanking maneuver really comes to play. Of course I missed the shots on the Timberwolf, but this guy comes around the corner as well. I'm gonna hide a little bit just so it doesn't decide to shoot back at me, because that thing was big and scary. So don't get shot at, well, shot to pieces by everything and everybody. However, that high mounted Battletech slot for the UAC5 to be on really allows poking over things like this very well. As you can see, I can just look at over this this edge here and just keep firing, and somebody is pouring missiles my way, and unfortunately Timberwolf is also blocking my movement walking back and forth. However, there is a missile mech, and usually LRM mechs don't have that many other big guns, and I have another friendly charging in on that. Thankfully it is already dead, and I'm going to be working into a flank here. A light mech, not the preferred target for this thing, but there was something else here, and that is definitely a target we will go for. Help support fire a light mech. That is not often you see that kind of stuff, but hey, It's a Timberwolf. We will go for it, especially if it decides to turn its back to us and just walk away.
New target acquired.
I don't know what that was all about. Okay, too many targets to try to shoot at. Here we go. Let's pour fire into the ones which are fully visible. And this is a flanking move which you can really pull off. The amount of shots you can get off when people just don't pay attention to you are just peachy. So yeah. Commando is charging in there. The Hunchback still apparently doesn't know I'm up here. So I'm okay with that. If you just wanna, you know, hang around down there and take it. And there you have the game already. Thank you very much for watching. Test out this build, it's fun and effective.